All right, everybody. So we are going to work on positive and negative exponents today. And you should have this sheet. You're going to need the sheet for the video lesson. And then you're also going to need a calculator. And I'm going to try my best to show you on 3 different calculators what the buttons will be that you need to press. So once we get started, I will show you the 3 different calculators and then how and what buttons you'll need to press for each one. Okay, so basically what's going to happen is we are going to complete these problems using the calculator. Now at some point the calculator isn't going to work anymore because the numbers are going to get too large, and you'll see what I mean once we get there. But by then, hopefully, you'll see what the pattern is. So if you will go ahead and get your calculator, you should have one of these 3 calculators, okay? Now, each calculator is slightly different. If you are using this first calculator right here, the TI-30X2S, I guess that is, or maybe that's 12S. This is the one that I have a lot of these in the classroom. So what you're going to do for the first one is you're going to press 2, and then the exponent button is this button right here. It's called a caret button, and that is what your exponent is going to be. And then you'll press 5, and then you'll hit enter. All right, if you're using this calculator, which is this light blue, this is the TI-30 and then XS. So if you have this one, it's going to be the same steps. So you're going to press 2, and then the exponent button is this caret button, and then you're going to press the exponent, which is 5, and then you're going to hit enter, and you'll get your answer that way. If you're using this calculator, which is the black one, the TI-36, you're going to press 2, and then your exponent button is right in the same location, but it has X with a little box, so that's for the exponent. You're going to press that, and then the 5, and then you're going to hit enter. So if you go ahead and do that, 2 to the 5th, you should have gotten the answer of 32. All right, so now you want to clear that off your screen, and you're going to enter 2, the exponent button, 4, and hit enter, and you should get 16. All right, then we're just going to keep going. So you want to clear that from your calculator. Then you're going to press 2, exponent button, 3, hit enter, and you should get 8. Then you're going to press, clear that. I don't know if we need to do this one. 2 to the 2nd is 4. If you need to, you can, just to confirm that it's correct. All right, 2 to the 1st is just 2. But now I want you to enter 2 to the 0 as an exponent. So you're going to press 2, the exponent button, then a 0, then you're going to press enter, and you actually get 1. All right, now we're going to work with negative exponents because we're going to keep going down this list. So there's 2 things that we need to do. First, we need to make sure we enter a negative for the exponent, but then we also need to change our answer into a fraction in order to see what the pattern is. So going back to your calculators, the negative button for all of the calculators is down here. It's under the 3. So the negative button is here, and the negative button is here. You're not using the subtraction sign. You're using the negative. All right, so what we're going to do is press 2, exponent button, -1, and hit enter. And when you do that, you're going to get a decimal. But we don't want these answers as decimals. We want the answers as fractions. So what you're going to do is you're going to have the calculator change it into a fraction for you. And of course, all these calculators are different. So if you look on your calculator, if you're using this first one, this blue one, there is F with two little arrows and then a D. It's right here if you're using this blue calculator. It's here if you're using this light blue calculator. And it's down here if you're using this black calculator. But it looks like an F with two arrows. So it looks like F, and then it has like an arrow that way, an arrow that way, and then a D. And that's telling you that it's going to change it from a fraction to a decimal or a decimal to a fraction. All right, now, on all of these calculators, it's not on the actual button, it's written above the button. So in this one, it's written in light blue. In this one, it's written in the green. And then in this one, it's kind of a light blue, white color. So what that means is that you have to press the second button before you can change it, or before you press that button. So if you have the 2 to the negative first on your screen, that should be 0.5. And then you're going to press the second button, and then the fraction decimal button, and then you might need to press equals, but in the end, you should get the answer of 1/2. All right, so now you want to clear that from your screen, and we're going to 2 to the negative second. So you're going to press 2, the exponent button, -2, hit equals, you should get a decimal. Then you're going to press the second button and that fraction decimal button, and you might have to hit equals again. And you should get 1/4. All right, so now if you clear that one, now we're going to go 2 to the negative third. So you're going to press 2, exponent, -3, hit the equal sign. You're going to get a decimal. So now we're going to press second and then the fraction decimal button and press equals, maybe, and you should get 1/8. All right, so then you're going to clear that and do the same thing for 2 to the fourth. And you should get 1/16. And then you're going to do that again for 2 to the fifth. And you should get 1/32. All right, so at this point, I want you to pause the video and finish working through this sheet. Okay, so this is where we left off, so hopefully you had an opportunity to finish this. And then this is what you should have for your answers. Now you might need to pause the video again to be able to check all your answers. Now, to look at the questions at the bottom, this is what is most important, is that you understand these key concepts. So the first thing is that anytime we had something to the first power, it was always that number. All right, hopefully you noticed that when we had something to the 0 power, it was always equal to 1. And then when something had the negative first power to it, it was always 1 over that number. So what I want you to notice is that any number that had a negative exponent ended up being a fraction with that answer in the denominator. So what you need to keep in mind, and the most important concept of this lesson right here, is that anything to the negative exponent is going to be a fraction, and it ends up being basically the reciprocal. All right, at this point, you might need to go back and re-watch it, get some more practice. If you didn't get to finish, then your homework is to finish this worksheet, and we'll continue tomorrow.